You know what fills my mind about A Tale of Two Cities, Andrew? The famous opening line everyone quotes is actually just the start of this monster 119-word sentence that perfectly captures the chaos of an entire historical era.
That's such a brilliant observation about Dickens' style, Pappy. The way he constructs that opening is like a literary Russian doll, each phrase revealing another layer of meaning.
And speaking of layers, Andrew, let's discuss how he creates this incredible tension between London and Paris. Here you have these two cities that might as well be different planets, one maintaining some semblance of order while the other descends into revolutionary chaos.
The contrast is fascinating, Pappy, especially in how he uses specific locations. The wine shop in Saint Antoine becomes this powder keg of revolution, while Tellson's bank in London represents this almost comical stability.
You know what's really interesting? The way Dickens weaves actual historical events into the narrative, like the storming of the Bastille, where only seven prisoners were actually found, becomes this powerful symbol of both liberation and the futility of violence.
Hmm, that's something I never knew about the Bastille, and it makes Dr. Manette's imprisonment there even more significant.
Exactly. And here's another fascinating detail. Dickens actually based some of his revolutionary scenes on first-hand accounts he read in Thomas Carlyle's The French Revolution. He wanted to get the historical details exactly right, even while he was creating this deeply personal story.
The way he handles those personal stories against the historical backdrop is incredible. Take Sydney Carton. His transformation from cynical drunk to sacrificial hero feels both intimate and epic.
Speaking of Carton, there's this striking parallel between his personal resurrection and the novel's larger themes. Did you know that Dickens initially considered calling the book Recalled to Life? That phrase appears something like 28 times throughout the novel.
That's fascinating. It really emphasizes how central the theme of resurrection is to everything in the story.
And let's talk about Madame Defarge for a minute because she's based on real life revolutionary women known as the tricoteuses, these women who would sit and knit while watching the executions. Dickens takes this historical detail and turns it into an incredible metaphor for revenge.
The way he uses that knitting imagery is brilliant. It's like she's literally weaving fate one stitch at a time.
You know what's really striking? The accuracy of his portrayal of mob psychology. Modern researchers have studied how crowd behavior during revolutions follows patterns similar to those described by Dickens. This transformation of individual grievances into collective violence.
Incredibly, he captured something so complex without having access to modern psychological research. How did he understand it so well?
Well, Dickens had this unique perspective as someone who'd seen both sides of society. He'd experienced poverty as a child when his father was in debtor's prison, but later became a wealthy, famous author. So he understood both the anger of the oppressed and the fears of the privileged.
That personal experience really comes through in how he portrays both the aristocrats and the revolutionaries with such complexity.
And here's something fascinating. The novel's themes of sacrifice and resurrection were actually influenced by Dickens' own life at the time. He wrote it while his marriage was falling apart, and some scholars think Carton's sacrifice represents his own feelings about personal redemption.
In a way, he was working through his own struggles while writing about these monumental historical events.
Exactly. The novel's impact has been enormous. It has never been out of print since its publication in 1859, and it has sold over 200 million copies worldwide. It's actually the best-selling novel of all time, written in English.
Those numbers are incredible. It really shows how these themes of justice, revenge, and redemption continue to resonate across centuries.
What's truly remarkable is how relevant it remains today. When we examine modern political upheavals and social movements, we can see these same patterns unfolding, the tension between justice and revenge, and how personal stories become entangled in historical forces.
Pappy, that's what makes it such a timeless work. It's not just about the French Revolution, it's about how humans cope with extreme social change.
And maybe, Andrew, that's why it continues to captivate readers. In an era of increasing political polarization and social upheaval, Dickens' insights about human nature and society feel more relevant than ever. It's like he's showing us our own reflection in this historical mirror